Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be rating the best assassins from the Assassin's Creed series to the worst. So I'm going to start with the best assassin, and then I'm going to finish with what I believe is the worst. These are all opinions. Enjoy. Alright, I know a lot of people will agree with me. Ezio is the best assassin. I'm not just being basic like everybody else. I have reasons. Mainly because Ezio got his own trilogy. I mean, and in one game, yeah, you can dive deep into someone's, life and their experiences, but in a trilogy, do you know how deep you get into someone's life in a trilogy? We see him when he's young, when he's I wouldn't say middle-aged, but he's probably between his 20s and 30s, if I remember. I haven't played in a while in Brotherhood. And then we get to see him old, and we get to see him die, and everyone's heart breaks when he dies, but there is such depth in his character that you just feel everything he's feeling, especially when his dad's murdered and his two brothers, and you say, oh my god, that's horrible. And then he becomes an assassin, and at first it's for revenge, to get those people back, but then it's for answers and for justice. And I think that's a really great expression of people, us as people. We'll want revenge at first, but then we'll want justice, and then we'll want answers, and that's Ezio's character, and he's the best assassin. The assassin I would recommend to anybody. Be like, listen, play this game because he's in it. And yeah. Alright, we're on to Byuk. If you've seen my other videos, I'm actually playing Assassin's Creed Origins right now, but it's the downloadable content that I'm on. Let me just talk about Byuk. Byuk is, I think, in my opinion, the most lovable Assassin's Creed character because he just seems like an all-around good person. He doesn't... The Greeks in this game are real assholes to the Egyptians, and you see him, he's still helping the Greeks. He doesn't, stereotype or judge, or basically he doesn't be a dick to the Greeks when he has every reason to be. He's just a really deep character, and then he loses his son, and you can really just feel what he's feeling, because that's how powerful of an experience it is. And altogether, I love his character. I love the gameplay. The story was great, and then the Curse of the Pharaoh's main story was great too. It was a real plot twist, towards the end of the actual story. I was like, wow, I didn't even see this coming, but Byuk is definitely, for me, he's on par with Ezio. I mean, I only picked Ezio as the best because, I've always thought that ever since I played Assassin's Creed 2 and every other game I played since, I've always said, well, they're not as good as Ezio. They're not as good as Ezio, but Byuk, honestly, in my opinion, he's up there with Ezio. This is one of the best Assassin's Creed games, other than the Ezio trilogy, and I highly recommend it if you haven't played it yet, because it is great and the gameplay is great. Alright, Cormac. Let me tell you guys, I really enjoyed this game. I really loved Rogue, because it was such a different experience playing as a Templar, because now... before that, it was easy to see why the Assassins hated the Templars. But once you play as a Templar, and you see how Shay's thinking, and you go through all of that, and you see what the Assassins did, I don't know if you played the game, you've seen what they've done. And thousands of people died, and Shay was like, what the fuck, this isn't right. And he gets in a falling out with the Assassins, and then he ends up at someone's house, becomes a Templar. And it was just great. It was great, seeing things from a different point of view. And that's what I really liked about Rogue, was because it's not your typical Assassin's Creed game, it was something different. And the cool thing was, it was released at the same time as Unity, and it ties into Unity, and 3, because Haytham is in it, and then Shay actually kills Arno's father, and that ties them together. But I thought it was a great, new take on the series, because, you're a Templar now, you're not an assassin anymore, so now you have to think like a Templar, kill the assassins. It was just a different experience, and that's why I myself really enjoyed it, but I might not have everyone agree with me. Alright, we're on to Arno. I'm probably going to get tons of hate for the fact that I put Arno so high up on the list, because I know a lot of people hated Unity because of all the glitching and the fact that it was unfinished, but what I'm talking about in this video is specifically the characters themselves, and the story itself, and how the story and the characters, adapt and work together. So the reason I liked Arno was because he was really relatable. You know, he was careless, you know, living his life. You know, obviously he wanted to, you know, become an assassin like his father was. But, you know, he lived his life the best he could, and he was adopted by the Grandmaster of the Templars and still became an assassin. And, you know, he fell in love with Elise, and then she got killed, spoiler alert. And, you know, he still was an assassin, you know. And I really think his character was... I just really liked his character a lot because he was just relatable. You know, a lot of people hated the game because of the glitching. That's not really a good reason to hate a game. I mean, you should really just analyze the story and see if you like it like that. Because I know I love the story. I love all the Assassin's Creed stories, so that's my opinion. Alright, Connor Kenway. I know he's Native American, and I can't say his real Native American name, and I don't want to offend anybody or make any mistakes. Let me tell you, I really liked Assassin's Creed 3. I know a lot of people hated it. There were a lot of people that loved it. I was one of the people that loved it. I love all the Assassin's Creed games except for Black Flag, which I'll get a lot of hate for that because a lot of people like Black Flag. I didn't like Black Flag, and I didn't like the first Assassin's Creed, and I'm sure I'll get tons of hate for that too. But that's my opinion. You have yours, and that's fine. I really liked Connor's character because I felt like he was... I mean, he killed his own father. I mean, that's as deep as you can go. But, you know, his father did some fucked up shit. You know, he got his mother pregnant and kind of was like, you know what, fuck you, I'm done. You're Native American, I don't want anything to do with you. And then I'm gonna burn your village. And Connor, you know, lost a lot of people in his life, and then he killed his father, and that was a hard thing for him to do, because it's still your father, but I really liked his character. I feel like they really, you know, dove really deep into, you know, setting up a good backstory and letting us feel for the character. Because when you play a game, that's what you want. You know, when you play a role-play game, you want to feel what the character's feeling so you can understand the character. You don't want to just, oh, this is what the character does, and you have no, like, relationship to that. And that's what I think was really great about it, because it was like, well, what do I do if I'm in the same position? Do I kill my father? You know, is there any way I could save him? And he really tried, and I really admire his character for that. And of course, I had to include Desmond. Many people probably wouldn't include him because he's not really... I don't want to say the main protagonist, because he is a really important protagonist, but he's not the main 100%, you know, main focus of, you know, the Assassin's Creed games from 1 to 3. You know, it's really... Yeah, he's important, but he's not Altair, and he's not Ezio, and he's not Connor. But I really like Desmond. I was pretty sad when they, you know, decided to kill him off, spoiler alert, in Assassin's Creed 3, and it was pretty upsetting because he's a really complex character. You know, he seems like a nice person. I mean, he's not real, but you know what I mean. He seems like he's a good person, and then he sacrifices himself, but also releases Juno, so it's kind of not really a win-win, it's kind of like a lose because he's not winning. It's a loss because he unleashed Juno, but he also saved billions of people. So that's what I feel. You know, I feel like maybe he made a mistake releasing Juno, but he had to save the billions of people. So I really want to find out in any game anytime soon from Assassin's Creed, you know, what's happening right now with Juno, because we don't have any answers yet. We have no answers. And we're on to the twins, Jacob and Evie Fry. Let me just say that I played Assassin's Creed Syndicate when it first came out, and let me tell you up front, I really hated it. Like, I was miserable. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because, you know, I'm not used to shooting people with guns and beating them with fucking sticks, well, canes, or whatever you want to refer to them, you know, walking stick, whatever. It was just really different for me, and I hated it. I hated it so much, I actually returned it, and then, you know, I was talking to a friend, and he was like, listen, this game is amazing, you have to play it, you have to give it a chance, you have to get into the story, and then you'll see. And I was like, okay, because, you know, it was cheaper after that, so I bought it, and I played it, and I still have it, and I really loved it after I played it again. I thought it was great. I thought the little part where you can play as Lydia, Jacob's granddaughter, and you get to meet Winston Churchill, I thought that was awesome, and you get to shoot planes out of the sky, and I just really thought that was a cool touch, and I like how it was modernized. I thought that was really interesting. And I'm pretty, happy with how that game was, and that I, bought it again. Because I loved it. Alright, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate because Altair wasn't my number 1 assassin. Or my number 2. He's towards the bottom. I really wanted to like the first Assassin's Creed, but I didn't because it felt very repetitive and just the same thing over and over again. But that didn't sway me, because let me tell you, I played 2 before I played the first one, and that's probably fucked up, and I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Because my brother was like, oh, you have to play Assassin's Creed. And the only one I could get at the time was 2, and I played it, and I loved it, and I said, I can't play 2. I can't continue this series until I play 1. So I played 1, beat it. I really didn't like it. I really like Altair, though. I think he's a really cool character, but I just didn't, I don't know, I just didn't dig it. I just was not digging it. I don't know, that's my opinion, but I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for that. But thanks. Thanks anyway. Alright, I'm prepared for the amount of hate I'm about to get. I hated Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I bought it. I played maybe a half of it. I never finished it. I really didn't like it because I felt like there was no relevancy as to why Edward was even becoming an assassin. He was a pirate one day, pretty much a dick, and then one day he's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna be an assassin now. And I was just like, what is this game? One thing I actually really did like about the game was the fact that you could, kill sharks and whales and stuff like that. I thought that was interesting. And fucking narwhals. You could kill narwhals, I'm pretty sure. But I really liked that part of the game. It was just the rest of it that I hated. I hated the ship missions. I just really didn't like it. It's nothing against, Edward's character. I'm sure it was a cool character. I never really got far enough in the game to even, remotely think about him being an interesting character. But, for those of you that loved Black Flag, more power to you. My personal opinion is I didn't really like it. But, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Probably more content coming related to gameplay. So, yeah. I know not everyone's going to agree with me. You can hate me. That's understandable. But those are my opinions, and that's how I rank them.